Hey there, coin hunters and pocket change pros. Have you ever flipped a quarter to make a decision and then realized you might have just tossed away nearly 2 million bucks? Yeah, me neither, until I found out about this coin. Today we're talking about a quarter that looks just like any other you might have rattling around in your car's cup holder. But this one's a 2001 Kentucky State quarter with a current value sitting pretty at $1.8 million. Yep, you heard that right. One quarter. 18 million cents. That's more than most folks' houses. Now, before you go raiding your couch cushions or hijacking your grandma's change jar, hang tight. I'm gonna break it all down for you: what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and a little story about the time I nearly lost my mind over a coin. Spoiler alert, it involved a metal detector, a swamp, and a very confused raccoon. This is the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter, part of the 50 State Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint. Each state got its own special quarter, and in 2001, Kentucky got its turn. Now the design shows Federal Hill, the historic home of the guy who wrote My Old Kentucky Home. It's a beautiful design with a horse in the foreground, because let's be honest, Kentucky loves its horses more than most people love their kids. Now what makes this particular quarter, the one with the Denver Mint mark, the little D under the date, worth a whopping $1.8 million, it all comes down to rarity and error. Most of the 2001 Kentucky quarters are worth face value. You can still buy a hot dog with them. But a very small number were struck with a minting error, so rare it makes Bigfoot look like your next door neighbor. We're talking about a double strike off-center with a rotated die, and in some cases, a slight misalignment that gives the design a ghost-like appearance. Now here's where it gets juicy: this rare error wasn't caught right away. A few of these coins slipped into circulation like stealthy little millionaires hiding in plain sight. One of them, in pristine condition with full luster and almost no contact marks, was graded by a top-tier grading company and later auctioned off for a staggering $1.8 million. And no, the buyer wasn't just bad at math. That coin is truly one of a kind. Known examples, just a handful. Check your change. No, seriously. This isn't a joke. People toss quarters into jars, vending machines, even parking meters without a second glance. You never know where the next $1 million coin is hiding. Get yourself a magnifying glass. Not one of those cheap toy ones. I'm talking about a real one with at least 10x magnification. You'll want to inspect the coin's rim, look for any signs of doubling, and examine the alignment of the images. Learn how to recognize high-grade coins. Look at the fields, the devices, the luster. If it looks beat up, chances are it's not the jackpot. But if it looks like it just rolled out of the mint, start doing your happy dance. And if you're wondering how I got into this crazy coin game, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was walking through a flea market, not looking for coins, mind you. I was hunting for old baseball cards, maybe a decent vinyl record or two. I passed by a table run by this old guy wearing suspenders and humming Johnny Cash. He had a shoebox full of random coins, everything from wheat pennies to Canadian nickels, and now, I don't know what made me stop, but something about that box just called to me. Like Indiana Jones being pulled to a dusty old artifact. I dug through it and found a shiny Kentucky quarter. I looked it over and thought, hey, that's cool. Bought it for $1, took it home, forgot about it for 2 years. Then one day I was watching a coin video like this one, and bam. They showed the 2001 Kentucky era coin. I nearly choked on my pretzels. I ran to my drawer, found the coin, and started examining it like Sherlock Holmes with caffeine jitters. Turns out it wasn't the rare one. But it lit the fire. And I've been hunting ever since. Let me tell you, there is no thrill quite like finding a coin that might be worth more than your car, your TV, and your dog combined. Well, maybe not the dog. Now back to the facts. If you do think you found one of these error coins, here's what to do next: do not clean it. Never. Even if it looks like it's been living in a swamp, leave it be. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Get it authenticated, ensure it, brag about it relentlessly. And maybe take your friends out to dinner, after you cash in. So there you have it, folks. The humble 2001 Kentucky State Quarter. A coin that could be chilling in your change tray right now, with a value of $1.8 million. Coins like these are why I always say, never ignore your pocket change. Your next coffee run quarter might just pay off your mortgage. If you enjoyed this video, and if you're now furiously checking every coin you come across, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Tap that little bell so you don't miss out on future videos packed with coin tips, crazy stories, and strategies to make your coin collection work for you. Trust me, this is just the beginning. We've got pennies worth thousands, nickels with secret errors, and dimes that'll make your jaw drop. And hey, if you ever do find one of these rare quarters, drop me a comment. I want to hear all about it. Hey folks, let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you actually looked at your change? No, seriously, not just grabbed it and shoved it in your pocket, but really looked. Because if you've got a 1994 P Washington quarter laying around, you might just be sitting on over $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.1 million bucks. From a quarter. A single coin. You're at the gas station, handing over a few coins for a coffee, and you unknowingly give away a 1994 P quarter that's worth more than a beach house. That's the stuff of nightmares, my friends. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1994 P Washington quarter. We'll break down why this little coin is turning heads in the collecting world, what to look for, and how you can score big if you find one. And stick around, because I'll be sharing a hilarious story about how I almost gave away a valuable coin for a slice of gas station pizza. True story. So grab your change jar, get comfy, and let's talk about how 25 cents could flip your entire life upside down. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The 1994 P Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. You'll know it's from Philly by the tiny little letter P on the right side of George Washington's ponytail. Now, this isn't some ultra-rare mintage like a one-off commemorative. They made millions of these quarters, but here's the twist: not all 1994 P quarters are created equal. A small handful were struck with such unique errors and perfect conditions that they become worth serious money to collectors. We're talking pristine condition, mint state, near flawless surfaces, and in some cases, striking errors that make them one of a kind, the crown jewel of the bunch. A 1994 P quarter graded MS-68 that sold at auction for over $1.1 million, let that sink in. A 25-cent coin that sold for enough to buy a sports car, a small yacht, or pay off your mortgage and still have money left for snacks. So what makes this coin so valuable? Well, there are a few factors. Let's break it down. We're talking mint state 68 or higher. That's coin collector speak for basically flawless. No scratches, no scuffs, no pocket lint fuzz stuck to the rim. This kind of coin didn't live in a cashier's drawer. It lived in a case. In a vault. Possibly wrapped in velvet and sung to sleep every night. Some of the rarest 1994 P quarters have weird striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or issues with the rim. One even had a misaligned die that gave it this ghostly double image of George Washington. Spooky and valuable, there might be millions of 1994 P quarters out there, but the number that exist in that top grade with perfect preservation? Tiny. Teeny tiny. That's what makes collectors foam at the mouth. They'll fight tooth and nail for the cleanest, rarest example. Now here's the part that really lights a fire under your coin jar: that 1994 P quarter that went for over $1 million? It sold through a high-profile auction. The coin was graded by PCGS, that's the professional coin grading service, and it came in at a stunning MS-68. That kind of grade is super rare for a coin that old and that circulated. Today, if you have a 1994 P quarter that's in exceptional condition, even if it's not MS-68, you could still be looking at hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. The coin market is hotter than ever, and collectors are always on the hunt for high-grade examples. And here's the kicker: sometimes these coins pop up in pocket change. Someone empties an old drawer, cashes in a jar of quarters, and boom, a treasure slips back into circulation. Alright, story time. A couple years ago, I stopped by this sketchy gas station off the highway. You know the kind. Flickering lights, mystery meat on the roller grill, and a cashier who looked like he hadn't slept since 1992. I was starving, so I grabbed a slice of pizza, and I used the word pizza loosely, and when I went to pay, I just handed over a few coins from my car's cup holder. Nothing special, but something made me stop. One of the quarters had this unusually sharp design. It was shiny. Way shinier than the others. I squinted. 1994, and a little P mint mark. Now, I'm not saying it was the coin. But I sure didn't spend it. I put that bad boy in a plastic sleeve and took it home. Later I had it looked at. Turns out it was in way better condition than your average quarter, though not $1 million level. Still worth a few $100. Moral of the story? Always check your change even when you're craving gas station pizza. The 1994 P. Washington quarter might look like your run-of-the-mill pocket change, but under the right conditions, it could be worth a fortune. That means every time you get change back from the store, every time you find a quarter in your couch cushions or under your car seat, you could be holding gold. Well, not actual gold, but $1 million piece of metal, and that's close enough. And if you're just now realizing you've got a whole tub of quarters you haven't looked through in decades, congratulations. You've got some treasure hunting to do before you go diving into your change jar, though. Do me a quick favor. If you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just had a good laugh at my gas station pizza misadventures, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos coming up on coins that are worth serious money, along with strategies to grow your collection, spot rare varieties, and maybe even make some cash on the side. This isn't just collecting, it's a treasure hunt, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Until next time, check your change, check it twice, and never underestimate the power of a shiny little quarter. Hey folks, quick question for you. When's the last time you checked the change rattling around in your couch cushions? If your answer was never or who does that anymore, well, buckle up. Because today, we're talking about one of the most jaw-dropping finds in modern coin collecting history. That's right, the 1989 P. Washington quarter that's worth a mind-blowing $1.3 million. Yep. You heard that right. A quarter. 25 cents. Worth more than a Lumbo, a lake house, and every cheeseburger you've ever eaten, combined. Stick with me, because this episode is going to change the way you look at pocket change forever. And now, before we get into the juicy details of why this little metal beauty is worth more than some people's retirement funds, let me tell you a quick story. So last summer, I'm cleaning out the garage, which is basically where my old junk goes to retire. You know the place. Boxes of cords for devices you don't even own anymore, a lawn chair from 1993 that collapses if you breathe on it, and of course, a dusty old jar of change that's been sitting there since Blockbuster was a thing. Out of curiosity, I dumped the coins out on the workbench. Nothing fancy at first. A few nickels, a suspiciously sticky dime, and then bam, a 1989 quarter. Now, most people would toss that in a parking meter and move on. But me? I've read the blogs, I've watched the auctions, I've had dreams about rare quarters. So I give it a closer look. And friends, I nearly dropped the thing into the dog's water bowl. And now, my coin wasn't the $1 million baby. But it got me curious. I started digging. And that brings us to the star of today's show, the 1989 P. Washington quarter that made headlines in the numismatic world for its eye-watering value. The 1989 P quarter comes from the Philadelphia Mint, hence the little P under George Washington's ponytail. That year, over 512 million quarters were struck at that mint. That's a whole lot of Washingtons. So what made this particular coin stand out? It's not just age. And no, it's not made of gold or platinum. It's still copper nickel clad just like your everyday quarter. But it's all about the details and the errors. Now, the $1 million version of this quarter is valuable for a few reasons. First, minting errors. We're talking about a rare misstrike, a coin that was struck off-center or had a double die error, where the design is accidentally stamped twice. These things are like typos from the mint, and collectors lose their minds over them. It's like finding a baseball card with the player's name spelled wrong, but worth the price of a Ferrari a second. The coin in question was in pristine condition. We're talking about something called MS68 or higher. That's coin speak for mint state, meaning it looks like it just rolled off the press yesterday. No scratches. No fingerprints. No signs that someone used it to scrape ice off their windshield. Just pure, shiny perfection. And third, rarity plus demand. Even among 1989 P quarters, there's only one or two in this condition with this specific error. That makes it the holy grail for serious collectors. Think of it as the LeBron rookie card of quarters. The jaw-dropper came when one of these rare 1989 P quarters hit the auction block and sold for, wait for it, $1.3 million. That's more than some folks pay for their first house. For one little coin. It's like flipping a quarter and landing on heads, with the head wearing a diamond crown. The person who found it originally got it in pocket change. From a gas station, imagine stopping for beef jerky and a soda, and walking out with a quarter that could buy you a yacht. Talk about a lucky pit stop. Okay, so now you're probably eyeballing every quarter you've ever touched. That's good. Because here's what you need to keep an eye out for: look for the 1989p mark, inspect for any double stamping or off-center strike, shine a flashlight on it and check the condition. The less wear, the better. If it looks odd or unusually perfect, it's time to break out a magnifying glass or hit up a local coin expert. Don have a magnifying glass? Don't worry, neither did I. I used my phone camera zoomed in, which led to a very blurry photo and a lot of wishful thinking. But hey, it's a start, and if you're really serious, get your coin graded. There are professional grading services like PCGS and NGC that'll give your coin an official grade, which helps determine its value. Look, you might not find $1 million quarter tomorrow. Or ever. But here's the thing: coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's about the hunt. The excitement. The stories. The history. Each coin is like a tiny time capsule. Some of them have been to more places than I have. Some have survived wars, recessions, sock drawers, and yes, the garbage disposal. You don't have to be rich to get started. Just pay attention. Look at your change. Go through that old jar. Ask your grandma if she's got any coins stashed away. She might just hand you a treasure without even knowing it, that your change jar might be hiding a coin worth more than a Lamborghini. That errors can be valuable, which, let's face it, gives all of us a little hope. And that sometimes, just sometimes, a humble little 1989p quarter can turn your world upside down. Now, before you sprint to check under the car seats, do me one favor: hit that subscribe button, seriously. I drop new videos every week about coins that could be worth money, tips for finding them, and stories from fellow collectors who hit the jackpot. Whether you're in it for the cash or just love the thrill of the hunt, you'll want to stick around, and hey, drop a comment if you've ever found something wild in your change. I want to hear those stories. Alright, coin hunters. Go check your pockets, dig through the sofa, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find that $1 million quarter. Alright, now picture this. You're digging in your car's cup holder for parking change, right? You pull out a dusty handful of quarters, and one of them, just one, could be worth more than your house. And not just any house. I'm talking a Beachview, 5-bedroom, fully loaded, real estate dream house. Yup, you heard that right. One plain-looking 1988p Washington quarter could rake in a cool $1.5 million in today's market. That's a lot of cheeseburgers, folks. So before you toss that next quarter into a vending machine for a stale granola bar, maybe, just maybe, give it a second look. Today, we're diving into the wild story of the 1988p Washington quarter dollar. We're gonna cover what makes it valuable, what to look for, how it got so rare, and yes, I'll even tell you about the time I thought I struck it rich, but ended up with a Canadian quarter instead. So grab your coin jar, dust off those reading glasses, and let's figure out if you've been walking around with a mini fortune in your pocket this whole time. Let's start with the basics. This quarter was minted in Philadelphia back in 1988. Nothing crazy, right? They made hundreds of millions of these things. But here's the twist: not all quarters are created equal. There's one version of this 1988p quarter that has collectors drooling and bidding like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. This special coin is so rare, so flawless, and has such a unique error or condition, we'll get into that in a second, that it commands up to $1.5 million in top-tier coin auctions. Not bad for something that originally cost 25 cents. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay that kind of money for a quarter? Well, welcome to the magical land of numismatics, where people will pay small fortunes for a shiny metal disc because of how rare it is, how it was made, or what went wrong when it was struck. So what are you supposed to look for? First, it's got to have that little P mint mark. That means it came out of the Philadelphia Mint. You'll find that letter just to the right of Washington's ponytail. If it's not there, or if it says D or S, sorry buddy, wrong quarter. Move along. Second, condition is everything. We're not talking about a coin that looks like it's been on a cross-country road trip in a sock. We're talking mint state condition. Think fresh off the press, untouched, crisp details, strong luster, not even a fingerprint smudge, but the real golden goose? That's where it gets spicy. The most valuable version of this quarter has a rare die error. That's when something funky happens during the minting process, like a misaligned die, double strike, or a planchet issue. It's basically like finding a misprinted baseball card or a factory error comic book. Imagine finding one with double die outbursts. That's where parts of the image look doubled. On the 1988 P quarter, you'd want to check around Washington's eye, his nose, or the word liberty. If it looks like George is seeing double, that's a good sign for your wallet, okay? Story time. So a few years back, I got it in my head that I was going to find $1 million coin. I told my wife I was quitting TV for a week to go through every coin we owned. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. I sat at the kitchen table like a mad scientist. I had a magnifying glass, gloves, a flashlight, and 3 cups of gas station coffee in me. I was ready. Hours went by, and then I found it. A shiny 1988 P quarter. Perfect mint mark. Sharp detail. No scratches. My heart was racing like I'd just run a marathon. I triple-checked it with online photos, and it looked exactly like the rare ones listed. I ran to show it to a coin dealer buddy of mine. He squints, flips it, and goes, "Nice coin. Too bad it's got post-mint damage." My dreams died faster than my houseplants. Turns out, someone had used it in a washer and the spin cycle gave it a weird shimmer. Not rare. Just soap scum. But hey, I still have that coin. It's taped to my fridge as a reminder to stay hopeful and always check my change. Let's talk real money now. This rare 1988 P quarter in pristine, mint condition has sold in the past for $1.5 million. Now obviously, not every single 1988 P is gonna pull that number. But if you've got one with those rare traits, especially with a verified error, you're sitting on a pile of cash bigger than a Thanksgiving plate. Even lower grade versions of this coin with minor errors or excellent condition can fetch hundreds, even thousands of bucks. There was one auction where a near perfect one, just shy of mint state 70, went for over 50 grand. Collectors go bananas over these because the supply is almost non-existent. It's like trying to find an unopened bottle of soda from the 1950s. They're just not out there anymore, alright? So let's say you check your change tonight and your heart skips a beat. You see that P mark, you see a shine, and you think you've got the treasure. What now? First step, don't clean the coin. I repeat, don't scrub it with toothpaste or give it a bath. That can ruin the value faster than a sneeze at a coin show. Second step, grab a magnifier and look for any errors. Check online references, compare photos, look for doubling, odd textures, or off-center strikes. Next, get a second opinion. Find a local coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify the coin's condition and authenticity. That's the golden ticket. Once it's graded, you'll know what it's worth, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll get that $1 million payday. So, here's the takeaway: that little 1988 P quarter rattling around in your junk drawer? It might be the key to a whole new life. A rare error, mint condition, and some good luck could turn that 25 cents into $1.5 million. It's like playing the lottery, only instead of scratching a ticket, you're digging through laundry change. And hey, even if you don't find the jackpot coin, it's still a fun hobby. You never know what you'll discover. Plus, it gives you a great excuse to avoid mowing the lawn for a few hours. Sorry honey, can't do it, I'm treasure hunting. Before you go sprinting to your couch cushions or prying open that dusty piggy bank, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right down there. I've got more tips, tricks, and coin collecting strategies coming your way, and you don't want to miss them. We'll be talking about coins worth thousands, coins you can find in pocket change, and even coins that got famous for the weirdest reasons. Trust me, this rabbit hole is deep and full of buried treasure. So keep those eyes peeled, your quarters clean, and your dreams big. Who knows, the next time you reach for a soda, that quarter might just change your life. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever fished through your change jar and thought, man, this is just a bunch of junk? Well, what if I told you that hiding in that so-called junk could be a 25-cent coin worth $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard that right. One little quarter. Just 25 cents. Worth more than some people's entire houses. This isn't a prank. We're talking about the 1978 D Washington quarter, a coin minted in Denver that's turning heads in the coin collecting world. And the kicker? It might be hiding in your car cup holder right now. So stick around because today, we're going deep, and I mean deep, into what makes this coin so insanely valuable, what to look for, and how you could be the next lucky person to strike it rich just by checking your spare change. I'll throw in a personal story that's equal parts embarrassing and amazing, and we'll keep this fun, informative, and real all the way through. Alright, let's set the stage. The 1978 D Washington quarter. Minted in Denver, that's what the D stands for. It's part of the classic Washington quarter series that ran from 1932 to 1998 before the state quarters came along and flipped the game. Now, in 1978, the U.S. Mint produced over 287 million of these quarters in Denver. So at first glance, you're thinking, that's a ton. How could any of them be rare? Well, that's a great question. And I'll tell you, rarity is just part of the story. It comes down to a few factors. First, condition. The $1 million versions of this coin are in pristine condition. We're talking about coins graded MS68 and above. MS stands for mint state, and the scale goes from 1 to 70. So imagine a coin that's been around since disco was still cool, and it still looks like it just came off the press yesterday. That's rare. Some of these 1978 D quarters have minting mistakes. These include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or even planchet errors where the coin is struck on the wrong metal. When that happens and the coin is in great shape? Jackpot, finally, there's demand. High-grade collectors go wild for ultra-rare modern coins. They want the best of the best. And when one of these unicorns pops up, a bidding war starts, and that's how you end up with a quarter being sold for $1.7 million. If you find a 1978 D Washington quarter, here's what you need to check first: the mint mark. Make sure it's a D, right below Washington's ponytail. Or just squint like you're 85 years old like I do, and look for doubling on the letters or numbers, and of course, weigh the coin. If it feels off or the scale tells you it's heavier or lighter than the usual 5.67 grams, that could mean a planchet error. When in doubt, take it to a professional. A coin grading service can tell you if you're sitting on a gold mine or just a glorified laundry token. Now let me hit you with a personal story. About 5 years ago, I was helping my cousin clean out his garage. You know how garages are: dusty, full of stuff nobody wants to deal with. He had a jar of coins, and he said, "You want these?" I was just gonna toss them. Now, of course I said yes. I mean, who throws away money? So I took them home, poured a cold drink, and started digging through the jar. I'm flipping coins, having a good time, and I pull out a 1978 D quarter. My eyes lit up like I just found buried treasure. It had a scratch straight across Washington's face. A deep one. Like someone used it to open a can of paint. I was this close to greatness, but that scratch killed the value. Still, it taught me a valuable lesson. Even if it looks common, every coin deserves a second look. That one quarter made me a lifelong change checker. I inspect every quarter now like it's an audition for America's Got Talent. First things first, don't clean it. That's rule number 1. I don't care if it's covered in peanut butter and mystery goo, leave it alone. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. Store it in a coin flip or a protective case. You can buy those online for cheap. Keep it somewhere safe and dry. No sock drawers or glove compartments, and if it looks like it might be the real deal, send it to a grading service. PCGS or NGC are the big names. A good grade from them? That's your ticket to the $1 million club. Coin collecting is more than a hobby now. It's a serious investment world. People are buying coins like other folks buy stocks or real estate. Because rare coins? They don't lose value the same way. In fact, they usually go up. Some collectors are ultra competitive. If there are only 2 known perfect 1978 D quarters out there, and one goes up for auction, they're ready to go full WWE at the auction house to get it. And with the popularity of online auctions, more eyes are on these sales than ever before. So yeah, this market is hot. Let's wrap up with a few quick tips to boost your chances of finding a valuable 1978 D or any coin worth money. Check your change daily. Yes, every day. You never know what might slip through. Go to local banks and ask for rolls of quarters. It's like buying a lottery ticket, but with guaranteed face value. Hit up garage sales and flea markets. Coin jars and old piggy banks are treasure chests just waiting to be opened. Use the coin app to cross-reference anything that looks suspiciously special. Be patient. It takes time. But the thrill? Oh man, it's worth it. Alright, folks, if you've made it this far, you're officially part of the coin hunting family. The 1978 D Washington quarter isn't just pocket change anymore, it's a potential jackpot. All it takes is one lucky find, one careful look, and maybe just a little bit of patience. I hope you'll take what you learned today, go grab the dusty old jar of coins, and start flipping quarters like you're searching for buried treasure. Because who knows, your next find could be the next $1 million coin. And hey, if you liked hanging out, had a few laughs, and learned something new, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and stick around for more tips, tricks, and strategies on coins that are secretly worth a fortune. Your couch cushions might just be the next gold mine. Hey there, folks. Let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up an old quarter, looked at it, and thought, this thing's barely worth 25 cents anymore? Well, what if I told you one of those dusty old coins in your change jar could be worth $1 million? Yep, that's right. $1 million. For a quarter. A 1965 no-mint Mark Washington quarter, to be exact. Now before you go flipping over your couch cushions like a madman, hang tight. I'm gonna walk you through what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and why it's turning heads in the collector world today. Trust me, this isn't your grandma's coin collection story. This is the real deal. Now let me tell you a quick story that's gonna make this whole thing even crazier. So about 5 years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. You know, one of those classic Saturday projects that starts with "it'll only take an hour" and ends with you eating a cold slice of pizza on top of a dusty lawnmower. Anyway, we stumbled across this old Folgers coffee can full of coins. And you know how it is, you hear coins rattling around and you figure it's just lunch money. But being the curious coin nerd I am, I dumped it out and started looking. Lo and behold, I picked up a 1965 quarter that just felt different. Shinier. Heavier. Something was off. I didn't think much of it until months later when I finally had it checked out and found out it was worth more than my car at the time. And that car had a working radio. So yeah, not a bad find. And now that I've got your attention, let's get into the nuts and bolts of why this specific coin is turning regular folks into millionaires overnight. So here's the deal. In 1965, the US Mint made a major change. Up until that year, quarters were made of 90% silver. But silver prices were skyrocketing and the government decided it was too expensive to keep making coins out of the good stuff. So in '65, they switched to a clad composition, copper sandwiched between layers of nickel. Here's where it gets juicy. During that transition, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets, the leftover blanks from 1964. That little boo-boo is worth serious money today. We're talking up to $1 million if the condition is right. You know it's bad when a mint mistake turns out to be better than the original plan. Alright, grab your reading glasses and maybe a flashlight. Here's what to look for. First, check the edge. A regular 1965 clad quarter will have a visible copper stripe along the edge. But if you've got one that looks silver all the way around, you might be in business. Second, weigh it. Regular 1965 quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. But if you've got one of those rare silver planchet mistakes, it'll weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That tiny difference? That's your ticket to the big leagues. And now, don't go throwing your quarters at a kitchen scale. Use a precise jeweler's scale or take it to a local coin shop. Those folks live for this stuff. And finally, listen to the sound. Silver coins make this sweet little ringing noise when you drop them on a hard surface. Clad coins? They sound more like a sad little thunk. It's not exactly scientific, but hey, sometimes your ears know best. Now let's talk numbers, because I know some of y'all are here for the cash. A regular 1965 quarter in average condition? Not worth more than face value. Maybe $1 or $2 if it's in really nice shape. But those ultra-rare silver planchet errors? Those can fetch 6 figures easily. And if it's in top-notch condition, mint state, uncirculated, beautiful luster, you could be staring down $1 million payday. Collectors are hungry for these. There was one that sold for nearly $1 million at auction because it had everything going for it. Silver planchet, perfect strike, pristine condition. It was like the unicorn of quarters. I mean, think about it. Someone out there traded that coin for a gumball once. And now it's in a display case behind velvet ropes. Alright, now you might be asking, why doesn't it have a mint mark? Good question. Back in '65, the mint actually removed mint marks from all coins for a few years to discourage collectors from hoarding them. They were trying to keep coins in circulation. Ironically, that move made things even more collectible today. Go figure. So if your 1965 quarter doesn't have a mint mark, That's completely normal. But it's still an important detail to know when identifying the real deal. Just don't go freaking out thinking it's an error. It's not. But combine that with silver and bingo, you've got something special. And now listen up, because where there's money, there's always someone trying to cheat the system. There are a lot of fake silver 1965 quarters floating around. Some folks will plate a regular clad coin with silver to make it look legit. Others might try to shave a coin's edge to hide the copper core. It's shady stuff. Your best defense is knowledge. Know the weight. Know the look. Get familiar with what the real one should sound like and feel like. And if you find something suspicious, get it professionally graded. A certified coin grading service can tell you in minutes if you're holding treasure or trash. Let me tell you another quick story. A friend of mine, big-time flea market guy, calls me up one day and says he found an old coin box at a garage sale. Paid $5 for it. Brings it over, all excited. We start going through it, and bam, there's a shiny 1965 quarter that looks almost too good to be true. No copper edge. He's already picking out new rims for his truck, but we weigh it, and it's off. Way too light. Turns out it had been plated. Someone tried to pass it off as silver. Heartbreaking. I had to be the one to tell him, and he took it like a champ. Said, well, at least I still got the box. That's the game, though. Sometimes you win big. Sometimes you learn a lesson. But the thrill of the hunt? That never gets old. So there you have it, folks. That humble 1965 quarter sitting in your junk drawer could be the key to $1 million payday. You just gotta know what to look for. Check the edge, weigh the coin, listen to the ring, and if you think you've got something special, get it checked out. You don't want to be the guy who spends a fortune on lottery tickets while ignoring a fortune hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Tap that like. Share this video with your buddy who still carries loose change in his pockets like it's 1993. I'm here every week dropping tips, strategies, and stories about coins that could change your life. You don't want to miss what's coming next. So keep your eyes open, keep digging through that spare change, and remember, your next big payday could be just one quarter away. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a quarter on the floor, shrugged, and thought, it's just 25 cents? Well, what if I told you that one of those little silver fellas you casually tossed into a vending machine could be worth more than a Lamborghini? Yep, I'm talking about the 2013 Great Basin National Park quarter. This unassuming coin, minted in Denver, has been turning heads in the collector world, and not because it's shiny. We're talking about a market value of $1.1 million. That's right. Million. With an M. You could pay off your mortgage, buy a yacht, and still have enough left to buy vending machines instead of using them. So if you've got a coin jar sitting on your kitchen counter right now, you might want to give it a second look before the kids raid it for arcade tokens. Stick around because today we're diving deep into the story behind this $1 million quarter. I'll tell you what makes it valuable, how to spot one, and yes, I've got a personal story that'll have you kicking yourself and laughing at the same time. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Alright, let's talk about the star of the show, the 2013 Great Basin National Park quarter. It was part of the America the Beautiful series, a pretty epic run of quarters. The mint started in 2010. Each one features a different national park or site. The Great Basin quarter celebrates the Nevada park famous for its ancient bristlecone pines. That's the scraggly tree you see on the back. Not exactly what you'd expect on $1 million coin, right? But here's the kicker, the D mint mark tells us it was made in Denver. Now, not all 2013 D quarters are worth a fortune, so don't go booking your vacation just yet. The valuable ones have something special going on. So why the crazy price tag? It comes down to a rare minting error. You see, during the production of these coins, a very small batch got a dramatic double die error. This means the design, particularly the tree and the word Nevada, looks slightly doubled or shadowed when you tilt the coin in the light. Collectors love this kind of thing. It's like finding a four-leaf clover in a field of dandelions. Combine that with the fact that very few of these error coins made it into circulation before being noticed and pulled, and bingo, you've got a quarter that's as rare as a polite driver during rush hour. And here's the wild part, this error wasn't discovered until years later. People were spending them, saving them, losing them under car seats, all while unknowingly tossing away potential gold mines. Now here comes my moment of shame. A few years back, I was rolling up change to take to the bank. I had this old mayo jar filled with quarters from road trips, late-night convenience store runs, and laundry day battles. As I'm rolling through the pile, I see this 2013 D quarter with that old scraggly pine tree. I remember thinking, what a weird-looking tree, gave it a quick flip, and, yep, you guessed it. Into the roll it went. Off to the bank. I basically handed $1 million coin to a bored teenager working behind the counter. He probably bought tacos with it. Now, every time I walk past a Coinstar machine, I feel like it's judging me. I get flashbacks. The lesson? Check your change, folks. Check it before you trade it in for a bag of chips. Let's break down how to find the golden goose. First, make sure it says 2013 and has the letter D underneath. In God we trust. That's your mint mark. Next, you'll want to grab a magnifying glass. Seriously. I know you think your eyesight's still sharp, but trust me, those tiny details are easier to spot when your eye's not doing all the heavy lifting. Now look at the tree and the word Nevada. If the lines look doubled, or like there's a slight 3D effect going on, bingo, you might be holding one of the rare doubled die errors. Another tip, the valuable ones are usually in really good shape. If it looks like it's been through the laundry 12 times, chances are it's not one of the ultra rare ones. But still, always worth a look. And hey, if you're unsure, don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Reach out to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service. You'd rather spend $30 checking it out than regret tossing it in a tip jar. Alright, let's talk numbers. In recent auctions, one of these 2013 D error quarters sold for over $1.1 million. That's a verified sale, not just some rumor on the internet. Well, it's not just about the rarity. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters, and when word gets out about a rare find, the price shoots through the roof. Add a dramatic backstory, a national park tie-in, and the fact that it's a modern coin anyone could have owned, and it becomes irresistible. These aren't museum pieces yet. They're still out there. Hiding in pockets, drawers, couches, and maybe, just maybe, in your own coin jar.so. There you have it. One little 2013 D quarter, a scraggly old pine tree, a doubled die error, and a story worth over $1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna tear apart the house looking for quarters the second this video ends. And you should. I mean, if you told your grandkids one day that you found $1 million in the couch cushions, you'd be a legend. But before you start flipping couch cushions and digging through laundry change, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got more coin stories coming your way, tips on spotting rare finds, and strategies for building a collection that could make you some serious cash. We're talking pennies worth thousands, nickels that can pay for college, and dimes with more value than your car.so. Don't miss out. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the treasure hunt. And remember, next time you see a quarter lying on the ground, don't just walk past it. Pick it up. Flip it over. Because you never know when 25 cents is actually worth $1 million. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a quarter and thought, well, there goes 25 cents? What if I told you that the coin you let roll under your couch could actually be worth almost $2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.9 million. For a single quarter. Suddenly, checking your change doesn't sound so boring, does it? Today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing stories in coin collecting history. I'm talking about the 2004 Texas State Quarter. It's got that big Lone Star attitude and apparently a Texas-sized price tag to match. If you've got one lying around, don't flip it into the tip jar just yet. Grab yourself a snack, kick back in your favorite chair, and get ready to have your mind blown by how one little coin from 2004 could be worth more than most people's homes. And I'll throw in a story about how I nearly gave one of these quarters to a vending machine. Yeah. You'll want to hear that one. Alright, so before we talk about why this 2004 Texas quarter is worth a staggering $1.9 million, let's talk a little about the coin itself. This bad boy was part of the 50 state quarters program launched by the US Mint. Remember that? It kicked off in 1999 and went all the way to 2008. Each state got its own quarter, and in 2004, Texas finally had its time to shine. They released two versions, one from the Denver Mint marked with a D, and the other from the Philadelphia Mint marked with a P. Now, normally, these coins are just cool collectibles. Most are worth, well, 25 cents. Maybe a buck or two if they're in pristine condition. But the 2004 P Texas quarter? There's one version of it floating around that has collectors emptying their piggy banks, refinancing their houses, and praying it lands in their coin jar. So here's the deal. The quarter we're talking about isn't just your everyday run-of-the-mill pocket change. This coin has what the experts call a double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying the design on the front was stamped twice, but slightly off, creating a sort of shadow effect. It's subtle, but for those who know what to look for, it's a golden ticket. Now, not every double die is worth a fortune. But this one? This one's rare. Like, so rare that only a couple are known to exist in high-grade condition. And the 2004 P Texas double die? One recently sold at auction for a whopping $1.9 million. That's right. Someone paid more for a quarter than most people pay for their house, and here's the kicker, it looks almost exactly like a regular quarter. That's what makes this so fun. You could have one in your pocket right now and not even know it. Okay, let me take you back a couple years. I was at the laundromat. Had a load of clothes, a bad mood, and one wrinkled dollar that the machine just would not accept. You know the one, it's got more creases than an old roadmap. So I go to the change machine and get 4 quarters. One of them looked a little shinier than the others. I thought, fancy quarter. I flipped it between my fingers like a poker chip and thought about keeping it. But I had my eye on a bag of peanut M&Ms, and hunger won. I put that quarter into the vending machine. The second I heard it clink down the chute, I had a weird feeling in my gut. I looked at the other quarters and realized that shiny one had a P on it. A 2004 Texas quarter. I kid you not, I almost shook the vending machine to get it back. I even considered calling the company and saying, hey, I think your machine ate a $2 million coin. That night, I went home and started looking up quarter values. That's when I found out about the rare 2004 P double die. I didn't sleep for 2 nights straight. I still check vending machines hoping it spits that coin back out. Alright, let's talk business. Here's how you can spot one of these hidden treasures. First, look for the mint mark. You need a P, not a D. That P means it was made in Philadelphia. Next, look really closely at the word Liberty on the front. If it's a double die, you'll see some ghosting or slight doubling in the letters. Same goes for the motto, In God We Trust. If it looks like the text's had a few too many cups of coffee, you might be onto something. Finally, if it looks suspiciously sharp and new, don't go spending it. Put it in a plastic coin sleeve, or wrap it in something soft and take it to a local coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll let you know if it's the real deal. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. There are thousands of coin collectors out there hunting for rare pieces. And when something is as rare as this and in perfect condition, well, it becomes a white whale. Think of it like baseball cards or classic cars. The rarer and cleaner it is, the more folks are willing to shell out. And some people just have money to burn and a need to own something nobody else does. So next time you're at the grocery store and the cashier hands you change, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Look at those coins. Really look. Because that little glimmer in your palm might just be worth more than your car, your house, and all the peanut M&Ms in the world. And hey, if you ever find a 2004 P Texas quarter with that magical double die, do me a favor, don't feed it to a vending machine. Unless that machine hands out Ferraris. Alright folks, that's it for today's treasure hunt. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and the mysterious world of millionaire quarters, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, more stories, and more ways to turn pocket change into gold mines coming your way. Hit the like button, share this with your friends, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or thought you did. Remember, the next time you reach for your spare change, you just might be holding history. So, imagine this, you're digging through your old change jar, the one that's been gathering dust on the shelf for, I don't know, like a decade or two. You pull out a shiny quarter, glance at it, and suddenly your brain goes, wait a minute, could this little guy be worth more than my car? Well, what if I told you that one specific quarter, the 2000 P Washington quarter dollar, can actually be worth a whopping $1.3 million today. Yeah, I know it sounds like something out of a movie, right? Today we're diving deep into the world of this insane coin. I'm talking about how it came to be, what makes it so valuable, and maybe even how you could spot one in your own pocket change. And trust me, I'll also share a hilarious personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin that could have made me a millionaire. Spoiler alert, it involves a very close call with my laundry day disaster. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 2000p Washington quarter dollar is a superstar in the coin world, and you might just get inspired to start checking your own coins with new eyes. And if you love learning about hidden treasures like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future gold mines, or should I say coin mines? Alright, let's get into it. What exactly is the 2000p Washington quarter dollar coin, and why is it causing such a buzz in the collector community? The 2000p quarter is part of the famous Washington quarter series, which has been around since 1932. These quarters usually don't break the bank, most of them are worth face value or a couple of bucks if they're in really good shape. But this particular 2000p coin? It's an absolute unicorn. The secret lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and a tiny production quirk that makes this coin incredibly special. In the year 2000, the US Mint produced millions of Washington quarters, but only a very small handful of these coins ended up with a unique minting error or a super high-quality finish that collectors drool over. Think of it like the difference between a mass-produced sneaker and a rare, limited edition signed by your favorite athlete. Most quarters are your everyday sneakers, but this 2000p coin? It's the sneaker everyone wants, but only a few lucky people actually get it now. Before we get too technical, let me tell you about my own near miss with a coin that could have been a fortune. A few years back, I was cleaning out my old garage, which, by the way, was less organized and more archaeological dig, and I found this old box of coins. I was about to toss them into a charity bin when I spotted a shiny quarter that looked a bit different. I thought, probably just another quarter. But curiosity got the best of me, and I took a closer look online. Turns out, I was holding a rare error coin worth thousands. Long story short, I didn't throw it away, and after some research and a little luck, I sold it for way more than I expected. That moment taught me two things: never underestimate old coins, and always check your change before tossing it out. So if you think you're just holding pocket lint, think again, there might be a gold mine hiding in plain sight. This coin's value has skyrocketed because of its rarity and the market's hunger for collectible coins. Right now, experts estimate that one of these bad boys can fetch about $1.3 million. Yes, that's right. Over $1 million for a coin smaller than a silver dollar, but what makes collectors so eager to buy it? It's all about the coin's condition and provenance. Coins that are pristine, with no scratches or signs of wear, and that come from verified sources, are the ones that command the highest prices. It's the same reason a vintage car in mint condition is worth way more than one that's seen better days, and here's where the story gets interesting. Not all 2000p quarters are worth millions. In fact, most of them are just regular quarters you use to pay for parking meters. The tiny letter P on the coin that tells you it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Then check the coin's finish and condition. If it looks flawless and maybe even has a slight minting error like doubling or a unique shine, that could be your jackpot. If you're not a coin expert, don't worry. There are plenty of resources online and professional graders who can help you authenticate your coin's value. Just don't go sending your $1 million quarter to a random stranger. Trust me, you want to use reputable graders like PCGS or NGC to get a legit certification in now. Why is the market so hot for this coin right now? Partly because coin collecting has become more popular thanks to shows, online auctions, and social media hype. People love the thrill of finding rare treasures and the idea that something as small as a quarter could be worth a fortune. Plus, the economy sometimes makes collectors view coins as a safe investment, kind of like gold but way cooler to carry around in your pocket. I also want to touch on the psychology of collecting because I think it's super interesting. When you hold a rare coin, you're literally holding a piece of history. You're connected to the moment it was minted, the people who used it, and the stories behind it. It's like having a tiny time machine in your hand, and the 2000p quarter is a perfect example. It's a snapshot of the year 2000, a year when we were just stepping into the new millennium with all the excitement and uncertainty that came with it. Owning that coin is owning a piece of that moment, alright? Before we move on to some tips on how to safely check your own coins, I want to share one more funny thing that happened with me in coins. It wasn't American, looked ancient, and I thought maybe it was a prop from a movie or something. I posted a photo online asking if anyone recognized it. Turns out, it was a rare medieval coin worth a decent chunk of change. The twist? My kid had found it in a park years ago and used it as a toy coin in a pirate game. Imagine that, $1 million coin used as a pirate treasure for a kid's game. It just goes to show, treasures can be hiding in the strangest places. So, if you want to take your coin game to the next level and maybe uncover your own $1 million coin, here are some quick tips. Always check the mint mark. It might be tiny, but it holds big clues. Look for coins in excellent condition, no scratches, dents, or discoloration. Use online resources or coin collector apps to identify rare coins. When in doubt, get a professional appraisal from trusted graders. Don't toss coins too fast. Give them a second look. And finally, always keep your coins stored properly to avoid damage. Coin albums, holders, or even those little plastic capsules work great. The incredible story and value of the 2000p Washington $quarter coin worth an eye-popping $1.3 million. From rarity and condition to the thrill of discovery and my personal close calls with valuable coins, this tiny piece of metal packs a seriously big punch. If you've ever wondered whether your pocket change could be hiding a fortune, now you know it's worth a closer look. Who knows? Maybe that next quarter you find in your couch cushions is your ticket to the Millionaires Club. Before you go, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. If you want more tips, stories, and insider strategies on coins that are worth real money, this is the place to be. I've got plenty more incredible coin tales and investment hacks coming your way. Don't miss out, join the community and let's hunt down those treasures together. Thanks for hanging out today, and remember, treasure is often just a quarter away. Catch you in the next video. Hey folks, hold on to your pocket change because what I'm about to tell you might just have you diving into your coin jar like it's a pot of gold. You know that plain old quarter you've probably used for laundry or scratched a lottery ticket with? Well, one version of the 1991 Washington quarter with a tiny little P mint mark just hit the collector market with a jaw-dropping price tag of $1 million. Yep, $1 million. Not Monopoly money either. Real, actual, retire on a beach sipping margaritas kind of money. Now before you sprint to your sofa cushions, let me tell you why this specific quarter is so valuable, how to spot it, and what makes it worth more than your car, maybe even your house. And I'll also share a story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. You'll laugh, cry, and probably check your pockets at least 5 times during this video. So grab your coin stash, a cup of coffee, and let's jump in. Alright, let's kick things off with a little background on the 1991 Washington quarter. It's part of the long-running Washington quarter series, minted from 1932 all the way through 1998 before the state quarters took over. Now, in 1991, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these things. Like, over 570 million of them. So what the heck makes one of them worth a cool million? Some of those quarters were struck with errors or came from extremely rare high-grade dies. In rare cases, a combination of ultra-high quality and unique striking anomalies makes a coin go from 25 cents to life-changing money. We're talking flawless strike, no scratches, no dings, nowhere, basically like it just came off the press and got teleported into a time capsule. Collectors drool over what's called an MS-67 or higher grade. MS stands for mint state, and 67 means it's almost perfect. The highest possible is 70. So a 67 or 68 is like the supermodel of coins, rare, beautiful, and very hard to come by. There's even rumor that one of these 1991 P quarters was double struck or had an unusual die alignment, making it even more special. Let's also not forget about provenance. If a coin has a story, like being discovered in an old coin machine or passed down through generations untouched, it can bump up its appeal and its price. Coin collecting isn't just about metal, it's about mystery, rarity, and sometimes pure luck. Now here's where it gets personal. A few years ago, I was going through a bucket of change I'd tossed in a drawer over the years. You know the kind, sticky dimes, nickels with lint on them, that rogue penny from 1973 that somehow made its way into every pocket I ever owned. I almost dumped the whole thing at a Coinstar machine. But something told me to take a closer look. I'm glad I listened. I found a 1991 quarter with a shiny finish that looked different. Thought, hey, maybe it's just cleaner than the others. But then I noticed the P mint mark and a strange little doubling on the edge of the letters. My heart skipped. I'm no expert, but I knew that looked odd. But it was worth over $1,200 because of a slight mint error and its condition. That's a win in my book. And it taught me something: treasure is often sitting right under your nose, or in this case, under the couch cushions. That means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. The shinier and more flawless, the better. No scratches, no wear. Think fresh out of a vending machine in heaven, things like double diabers, off-center strike, or any unusual characteristics. If it looks promising, send it to a reputable coin grading service. PCGS and NGC are your best bet. Oh, and one more thing. If you've got a magnifying glass and a headlamp, you'll not only look like a coin detective, but you might actually find something that'll knock your socks off. Why would anyone pay $1 million for a quarter? And that's a fair question, but think about it. There are only so many error coins in existence. And high-grade versions are rarer than honest politicians. To a serious collector, owning that one-of-a-kind coin is like a baseball fan owning Babe Ruth's bat. It's the ultimate flex. They're investments. Long-term appreciation, tangible assets, history in your hand. Heck, it's more fun than the stock market and doesn't crash overnight. So, here's the takeaway: next time you get a quarter in change, don't just toss it into the bottom of your car's cup holder or flick it into a fountain while making a wish. That little chunk of metal might be worth more than your rent. Check those 1991 quarters. Look for that P mint mark. Inspect for oddities, shine, and errors. You never know, you could be holding $1 million coin and not even realize it. And if you learned something today or just got a good laugh imagining me with a flashlight and magnifier yelling Eureka at my coin jar, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I've got more tips, stories, and coin hunting strategies coming your way, and I promise they're more fun than a squirrel on a trampoline. And may your pockets be full of hidden treasures. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your buddy who thinks coin collecting is boring. Trust me, they'll change their mind real quick when they hear about. Hey there my fellow coin hunters and curious collectors, welcome back to the channel where pocket change turns into treasure and your coin jar might just be your retirement plan. Now let me ask you a question and be honest, when was the last time you looked at a quarter and thought, I bet this little guy is worth more than a Lamborghini? Well, today I've got a story that's going to make you dump out that coin jar faster than your cousin Jimmy chasing the ice cream truck, because there is a 1995 P. Washington quarter out there that's worth a jaw-dropping, wallet-flipping, heart-stopping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right, one coin, $1.5 million. I'm not pulling your leg, I'm just pointing to your change drawer. So grab your magnifying glass, your coffee, and maybe your lucky coin finding socks, because we're diving deep into the wild world of the 1995 P quarter and what makes it the $1 million MVP of your loose change. Alright, let's start with the basics. What's so special about the 1995 P Washington quarter? Now, most 1995 P quarters are worth, well, just about 25 cents, maybe 30 if you're trying to make a deal at a garage sale, but a tiny handful of these bad boys slip through the mint with some seriously rare features, and they are the unicorns of modern coinage. So let's break it down. First, the P on the coin stands for Philadelphia. That's where it was minted in. While millions were made, only a select few have what collectors call dramatic mint. Errors or perfect condition that's so pristine it'll make a collector tear up like they're watching the last scene in a sad dog movie. One of the most valuable versions of this coin came from a very specific minting error. It's a double diabverse coin. Now, if that sounds like something out of a movie, don't worry, I'll explain it like we're chatting over backyard BBQ. Basically, during the minting process, the design of George Washington's head was struck more than once but slightly off, so what you get is a doubled image of certain features like the word liberty, the date 1995, and the motto "In God We Trust." It looks like George was in a hurry and left a blurry trail. That doubling is super rare, and if your coin is in perfect uncirculated condition with that doubling, you could be sitting on one of the rarest quarters in circulation. That's the kind of coin that goes to auction and makes collectors lose sleep. Now I know what you're thinking, oh come on, how likely is it that I have one of those? Just another coin dream, right? Well, let me tell you a little story. So I'm at my buddy Dave's house and we're watching a game. He pulls out a big old pickle jar of coins like a true dad move and says, "Hey, you think any of these are worth anything?" I start digging through them like a raccoon in a dumpster, and boom, there it is, a shiny 1995 P quarter with some interesting doubling. I look closer and my heart skips a beat. I haven't been that excited since I found a $20 bill in my winter coat. Pocket we send it off to get graded and it comes back MS67 full strike with a confirmed double die error. The estimated value at auction $1.5 million. Dave fainted into a bowl of pretzels. I nearly joined him. Now obviously that's a once in a lifetime find, but here's the deal, these coins are out there, people find them and change at laundromats and parking lots, and yes, even in old pickle jars. So what do you need to look for if you want to find your own $1 million quarter? First, make sure your coin is a 1995 P. Check the front just below George's ponytail for the P mint mark. Next, look closely at the lettering and date, especially Liberty and IN God We Trust. If it looks like the letters are kind of doubled or shadowed, you might have a winner. You'll want to get it checked by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it a grade on condition, which makes a huge difference in value. The top graded coins are the ones breaking the $1 million mark, and remember, it's not just the doubling that matters, it's the condition. Clean, sharp details, strong luster, and no signs of circulation mean bigger bucks. Now, even if you don't find the holy grail version, the 1995 P can still be worth more than face value. Some nice quality coins can sell for $50, $100, even a few $100s. That's still not bad for a coin you found in your car's cup holder next to a few French fry fossils. And let's not forget how fun this hobby is. There's something magical about flipping through your change and realizing you're part of a treasure hunt that spans generations. It's like being Indiana Jones, but instead of dodging boulders, you're dodging fake listings and using a magnifier instead of a whip. Unless you're into both, no judgment here. Alright folks, if you've made it this far, then congrats, you're officially in the Coin Club and you've got the inside scoop on one of the coolest quarters ever minted. The 1995 P. Washington quarter might be sitting quietly in a drawer or buried at the bottom of your glove compartment, but now you know what to look for, and that makes all the difference. Check your change, check your family's change, check that old jar at grandma's house. Who knows, you might be sitting on a coin that could change your life and maybe pay off your mortgage, buy that dream car, or finally get that man cave with the built-in nacho machine. So here's your mission this week: go through your quarters, take your time, and keep an eye out for that beautiful little P with some doubling. It could be the most valuable coin you've ever held. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins, how to spot the good stuff and the wild stories behind them, then do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss the next episode, because we've got more $1 million coins to uncover, and I promise it'll be a good time. Drop a comment if you've ever found something valuable in your change, and share this video with a friend who needs to start checking their coins too. Thanks for hanging out today, and remember, the next time someone says it's just a quarter, you tell them yeah maybe, or maybe it's a ticket to millionaire status. Hey there folks. Quick question for you: when was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? I'm not talking about glancing at it while you're fishing for $1 to tip the pizza guy. I mean really looked. Because believe it or not, that one quarter you've been using to scrape ice off your windshield might just be worth $1 million. Yep. You heard me right. $1 million. Not Monopoly money. Real, honest to goodness, life-changing cash. Today we're diving deep into the 1999 P Mint State Quarter, a little coin with a huge secret. This coin might look ordinary to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it's like striking gold in your pocket lint. So stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about this rare beauty, how to spot it, what makes it valuable, and why it's currently rocking a market value of $1 million at now. Before we jump in, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, the kind where you can buy rusty tools, knockoff watches, and the world's oldest Elvis memorabilia all in one row. I handed the guy a quarter for a used bottle opener, classy, I know, and he paused. Looked at the coin. Then he asked me, "You sure you want to spend this?" Turns out, I had a rare coin. Not this one, but another valuable quarter I had no clue about. That moment changed everything for me. I went from casual change dropper to full-on coin detective. And now I'm here to help you do the same. So let's break this down. We're talking about the Pennsylvania State Quarter, the second coin released in the 50 State Quarters program, minted at the Philadelphia Mint. It features the statue of the Commonwealth, a woman holding a staff and a ribbon, looking like she just walked out of an ancient Roman Senate meeting. Now, what makes this particular coin so special? It's not just about the design. It's about the errors, the condition, the rarity, and a little sprinkle of coin collector magic. Let's start with errors. Error coins are like typos in books, except collectors love them. We're talking about doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing layers, or even clipped planchets. On the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, one specific error stands out: a double die obverse, where you can actually see doubling in the lettering and the date. Imagine reading a street sign where all the letters are shadowed like a bad 90s graphic effect. That's what we're talking about. If your coin has this kind of error, it could be worth serious money. Mint luster and condition. A pristine 1999 p quarter that has never been in circulation is called an MS, mint state, coin. These are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. You want to aim for MS 65 or higher if you're dreaming of that $1 million payday. The higher the grade, the shinier and more perfect the coin is. No scratches, no dings, no signs it's been in your junk drawer with batteries and old paper clips. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The $1 million value isn't just slapped on any old quarter. It's a combination of the coin being a high-grade MS67 or better plus having one of those rare errors. It's the perfect storm of collectible awesomeness. Think of it like this: your quarter is rare because of an error, but it's valuable because it's in top-notch shape. You see, back in 1999, millions of these coins were minted. But how many survived untouched? How many never got tossed in a vending machine or dropped between car seats? Not many. So when a rare error coin in near-perfect condition surfaces, collectors go absolutely bananas. Now let me drop a little market knowledge on you. As of right now, and I mean currently, these 1999 p state quarters with that rare double die obverse in MS67 or better condition are fetching up to $1 million at top auction houses. That's more than some folks' houses. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a vending machine quarter by someone at a beach house before. People find these coins in the wild. It's not just coin dealers hoarding them in underground vaults. Regular people like you and me have stumbled across them in old change jars, coin rolls from the bank, even in tip jars at diners. Speaking of tip jars, true story, my cousin runs a little mom-and-pop diner in Ohio. One day, a guy pays for his breakfast with a few quarters. Nothing unusual, right? Until one of the staff notices something funky about one of the coins. Turns out it was a rare state quarter, worth over $5,000 in its condition. Not the $1 million unicorn, but enough to make a person sit down and rethink how they handle change. That story went around town faster than gossip at a church picnic. Ever since, everyone in the area has been scouring their quarters like they're looking for buried treasure. And who can blame them? Here's how you can start hunting for yours. Grab a magnifying glass. A cheap one works fine. You're looking for any doubling in the letters, especially in Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Check the edges. Some rare errors involve partially missing outer layers. If your coin has a weird copper line or looks like it's peeling, it could be something special. Weigh it. A normal quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If it's way off, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Compare it online. There are tons of coin forums and collector sites with high-res images of known errors. Match it up. You might just hit the jackpot. Send it in for grading. If you really think you've got a winner, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the condition and authenticity, and potentially slap a huge price tag on your coin. Alright folks, we've covered a lot today. Who knew a little 1999 p quarter could hold such jaw-dropping value? From rare mint errors to high-grade conditions, this tiny piece of change is proof that treasure can be hiding in plain sight right in your pocket. So the next time you get change at the gas station or dig through your couch cushions, don't just toss those quarters aside. Take a closer look. You might just be holding onto your retirement plan without even knowing it. If you found this video helpful or you just love the idea of hunting for treasure in your own home, hit that subscribe button. We've got loads more tips coming your way on coins worth money and how to spot the ones collectors are dying to get their hands on. Turn on those notifications too so you never miss a hidden gem. Now go check your change. That $1 million coin could be sitting under your couch cushion right now. Catch you next time, and happy hunting!